Well, howdy everyone. It's the Brew City Rider coming back at you from the BCR Garage. Yeah, as promised, I'm working on my Softail tire, wheel, and wheel bearing project. As you can see, I've got the front wheel off already. I didn't record that because it's so basic. But the plan here is I'm going to change out both tires, and I figure while I got them off, the mileage is high enough where I decided I'm just going to change out the wheel bearings and the cups, the bearing cups, also called races. So if you follow my channel, you know that I like to do all my bike maintenance myself. In fact, I've never had my road glide in the shop for anything. And I haven't had the Softail in for probably 20 years. One thing I was never able to do myself, though, is to change out my own tires, and that frustrated me. I just didn't know if I wanted to get into gathering up all the equipment I would need to do this job, but finally I had the time and the money. I'm like, damn it, I'm just going to do it. So I started researching tire changing machines, and it was kind of narrowed down to the Nomar and the Rabaconda. And for me, the Rabaconda is head and shoulders above anything else for my situation. One thing I did not want is a large machine that I'd have to bolt down to my garage floor, or at a minimum down to a pallet. And the reason you have to do that is because most machines, the wheel sits on flat, and all the force is laterally, which causes the whole machine to spin if you don't have it bolted down. Well, then I discovered this Rabaconda machine. It comes from Estonia, and it's got a very unique design that I haven't seen in any other tire changers. It's freestanding. It does not require it to be bolted down, and it easily breaks down, and everything fits inside this included duffel bag. Here's some of the pieces. It's got a ratchet system. That's what this is here. It's got different size posts you can put in it to fit different size axles. Alright, well, since this isn't a tutorial on the Rabaconda or an expert tutorial on how to change a tire, I thought I'd just get right into it here. This is just somebody changing a tire for the first time and going through some growing pains. But having said that, the use of this machine was shockingly, or at least surprisingly, easy. Here I am putting on the action bar to break the bead, and if you notice the pivot point of the bar, there's two sets of holes. I have it in the outermost hole now, and that was my first mistake. I knew that the inner hole was for lower profile tires, but for whatever reason I decided to try it on the outer hole first, but the angle was just no good. You see how the pad that presses on the bead there, well, I've just broke the bead, but it could have been a lot easier. It's kind of pressing in and then sliding up, so it wasn't the optimal arc of that lever. When I flip the tire over, you'll see that I have it moved down to the lower hole, which worked much better on this low profile 21-inch tire. So anyway, after pushing on the bead for a minute, I finally did get it to break. Now I'm going to stick with the upper hole on the back side, or on the second side here, but then I get smart and move it down. Okay, now you see it's in the lower position. This worked out much better for me. So there's a quick a thumb screw there that you loosen up, and you slide the bar up and down until you get it just where you need it. Then you just give it a quick tighten, and you'll see how quickly I'm able to break the bead on this side in this position now. Not quite broken yet. Almost. And there she goes. Second bead is broken. Now I'm just going around the tire, making sure it's off in all positions. Down into the drop center. And then the bar just simply folds back on itself, or you can just pop it out like I just did. Alright, since this is a spoked wheel, you can't use the locking bar that you use for the mag style wheels. So they provide you this really nice strap that you slide under the frame of the machine and around a backside spoke nipple at about the 5 o'clock position. And then you put it through the locking hinge and just cinch it tight. And that's how you keep the tire or the wheel from rotating. Now I'm putting on the duck head ratchet system with the adapter in it. And the reason I have the adapter is because this is a 1988 Softail custom wheel, and it has a 3/4 inch axle. So I got the optional 15 millimeter spindle, and then it comes with a bushing that you slide over the ratchet system as well as into the wheel bore itself, and it really locks things down. They want you to start at the 6 o'clock position with the duck head, and then use some dish soap and water to lube up the duck head and around the wheel. You can also use bead grease, which I'll be using when I reapply the tire, but it's just a lot easier to use the soap and water for removing the tire. It just easily gets into all the places you need it to go. So I'm starting to put on the action bar here, but I don't have the tire iron in yet. So they advise to use the bead breaker tool to press down on the top bead to keep it in the drop center, and it's a lot easier than to pull up on the lower part of the bead to get it over the duck head. Right now I've got the protective sleeve over the tire iron, which I didn't really need, but I thought I'd try it, but I didn't like it, so I slid it off here in a sec. My second mistake was I should have been doing this with the brake disc on the back side. Reason being, as you flip up the tire lever, there's a hook that it locks under on the ratchet system. Well, the brake disc got in my way and I could never lock it in, and that was a big mistake on my part. So I just got around it just by simply holding on to the tire iron in about that position there. And at the end of the day, it did work, but it made it a lot harder on me. So now I'm getting ready to start removing the first bead. Got everything lubed up, got the bar in place. And the hardest part is the first probably 6 inches, just getting it going. So you got to put some beef into it. So it's moving slowly. I'm holding on to the tire iron. And she's going. I'm going to take the tire iron out. Is that after the first maybe 8 or 10 inches, you don't need it anymore. And even when it's locked into position, after that first section of the tire, it will pop off. And you just simply remove it. So from here on out, it's just like butter, man. It just comes right off. Remember, this machine is just sitting on my garage floor on the interlocking pads I had. And if you need to, the one bottom part of the frame, which you can see here in this picture, you can stand on it to give it a little more stability. So the first bead is off. Now I'm pulling the tire forward to get it into the drop center. That's the lower part of the rim, kind of in the center. And that allows the tire to go lower into the rim, say on the top side, as you start removing it from the bottom side. It gives you more ability to pull it in the direction you need it to. So of course, this being a tube tire, I had to now remove the inner tube. So I just pulled it out, cut it, and pulled it through the duck head system. That way I didn't have to take the duck head off. Now I'm going to give it a little more lube, and then I'll catch the bottom bead with the tire iron. And of course I run into the same problem of not being able to hook the iron where it's supposed to go. But it didn't prevent me from doing the job, it just made it harder. Once you get good at this, I imagine you could take a tire off in literally like 2 minutes. That's how easy it is. Alright, now we're ready to start removing the second bead. And she's off. Love it.